Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for another book related video because that is what we are doing here on this channel now. Today we're going to find out what my March TBR is going to look like. We're going to be playing the game Roll the Dice with a Dash of Chaos. This TBR game was created by Emily. I will have her channel linked down below if you would like to see her project. She's been doing this one for a while now, so she has several videos on this. This is only my second video doing this, but I am so grateful to be able to be doing this, and I'm so grateful that she came up with this. So we are rolling the dice, starting with 5 dice, and we're gonna pick what my March books are going to be. But before we do that, I do have 2 quick updates. The first one being that I did read at least half of last month's picks, so I do not need to start with a challenge pick. Yay! And also I need to say that if you watched last month's videos, you saw that I rolled a ton of doubles and never caught them and never picked what I needed to pick. So, because I didn't realize that until I was editing and everything, I'm gonna let that month slide because it was the very first month. But going forward, I'm gonna do much better at watching for those double rolls because when we roll a double, I have to pick from the challenge jar. So if you want to know how this all works instead of just jumping into watching it and figuring it out, you can watch last month's video or you can watch any of the intro videos that Emily has put up, and that will give you a lot of information. But for now, let's go ahead and jump in to the 5, maybe more, rolls that I have to pick my books for this month. Okay, so I have here the things that I need to put in, my dice, and more things to put in. I have here the majority of the books that will probably be put in. As I take from here, I do have a couple extra, but I don't think I'll get to those. We'll see. So let's roll for where everything goes. First, we're gonna roll for what spot the easy prompts are gonna go into. Spot number 3. So they're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Now to roll for the hard prompts. Spot number 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So between these 2. Okay, now we're gonna roll for the Kindle placement. Spot number 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 between these 2. And finally rolling for the audiobooks. Spot number 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, here is our starting spot. So I have a good mix here, I've got some fantasy, some romantasy, some romance, lots of different things here. A lot of new authors to me and a couple authors that I have already enjoyed books from. Like I said a minute ago, I have my starting, and then if I need more filled, I have some backups there, and I'll just take directly from here, put them in this spot. We have the TBR jar, hard prompts, easy prompts, challenge prompts, and we do not have to start with a challenge prompt because of me finishing at least half of last month's pulls. So let's roll and make sure that I don't, if I roll doubles, guys, I gotta be better at watching for that. All right, so out of hopefully only 5 rolls, let's go to our first roll. First roll is going to be 5, and that is not doubles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be a Kindle pick. So I will pick that at the end of this video. Second is going to be 7, and again, that is not doubles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Icebreaker. I'm finally going to read this. This has been on my shelf for way too long. Okay, roll number 3 is 8. Again, not doubles. Whew, so far we're safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gravity by Sarah Kate. This is one of the newest on my shelf. Oop, don't fall. This is one of the newest on my shelf. It actually, I'll tell you about this in a minute. So that was roll number 3. So for roll number 4, it's 5, and again, not doubles. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's another Kindle, guys. Okay, I'm really happy for that because I really felt like I wanted more Kindle reads last month. Okay, so hopefully, possibly the last roll. Oh, that's a double. Okay, so that's 10. Let's pick that first and then we'll grab our challenge. So 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a hard prompt. We get a hard prompt and a challenge. Okay. Which one is it gonna be? Pick one book and add one roll. Oh no. Okay, so I get to pick any one and then I get to add another roll. Okay, so let me complete that first. Well, let me complete the picking one book. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick a book that I know I'm gonna read, and that's gonna be The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. And then before I do my adding one roll, I'm gonna go ahead and pick my challenge. Our first challenge from the Tired as a Mother mug. No, I don't want that. That's just the challenge note. I'm scared. I'm scared. Unhaul. I have to pick a book to unhaul. Okay. I will come back to that. Leave that there. Let's do our add one roll. Okay. The last roll possibly, hopefully. Okay, it's not doubles, so that is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is book 2. Oh no. This is the second book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. Yes, I read the first book last month. We'll talk about it soon. Okay, so we ended up with 6 books for this month. I have to show you the 2 still that I'm going to pick for the Kindle books, but we're going to quickly go through the books that were picked and talk about them just very, very quickly. If you are in the romance reading at all, you probably have already seen this for a while because it's been out for a while and it was very, very popular, especially on TikTok. This is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This is a hockey romance, and this will be my very first hockey romance, and I believe, I want to say it's my only one I own, although there might be one in like a series, and I just didn't know that there was a hockey version to it. But I do believe that this is the only one I know, so this will be my very first hockey romance. I'm not a sportsy person, and I'm not big into sports. I'm not big into watching sports. With a few exceptions, but I'm not like somebody who knows much about it. So I'm really hopeful that this is not going to leave me confused with a bunch of terms that I do not understand. And because it's a sports, and specifically hockey, is why I just didn't pick it up. So this was one of the very first books I had bought when I first started my real reading journey last year. And so I'm excited to finally be able to jump into it. Next we have from Brandon Sanderson. This is The Hero of Ages, which is the 3rd in the Mistborn trilogy and the 3rd in my journey through the Cosmere. So this one I had to pick because it has to be read anyways for the Fable group that I am running. It is Fable, right? Yeah. If you are at this book and want to read it with some other people, my Fable group is open to anybody. It's just called the Sanderson Journey. I don't exactly know for 100% where we're going after this one, but for March, this is where we're going to go. This is a fantasy story, and it's a lot. It is my first like real fantasy story that I've been able to get through that doesn't have a romantasy side. At least not yet. Kind of hopeful. And in case you haven't noticed, these aren't in order of how I pulled them. I'm sorry. But next we have the second book in the Ice Planet Barbarians series. Yes, that's right. This is Barbarian Alien by Ruby Dixon. So I just on a whim last month ended up reading the first one and flew through it so fast. So fast. I'll be talking about that at least on my TikTok, but maybe here on YouTube. I haven't decided just yet. But I loved it. It was a hilarious, wild ride, and so I grabbed the second one. And so I'm kind of glad this also got pulled in because this is a quick read for me and it is a fun read for me. At least the first one was, so I'm expecting that for this. Okay, then we have from, I think my favorite smutty romance author. This is from Sarah Kate. This is Gravity. This is book 1 in the Wild Boys books. Now, this has been out for a while. This is a reprint, I believe, because it was picked up traditionally. I think that's what's going on. And I kind of feel guilty showing this to you guys because I probably shouldn't have bought it. And the reason why is because it doesn't actually come out, I don't think, until March 4th. I didn't realize that. So when I saw that in my Barnes & Noble, I was excited because I remember it was coming out, but I couldn't remember if it was February or March. And so I saw it and I bought it. And then after I bought it, I was looking into it because I wasn't really seeing people share about it in the spaces that they would be sharing about it. And so I looked it up and it's not supposed to be released. So I technically shouldn't have bought this because I do believe that it is, like, it affects in a negative way the numbers for the author. So I'm sorry about that and I will do better about that. But I am so excited to have this and that it was actually pulled for this month because I'm just so excited. I have not read it. It's beautiful. Here is the cover. I don't know when the second one is coming out, but yeah, Sarah Kate, if you've never read anything from her, I suggest starting with Praise. I'm excited for this one. Okay, then I had 2 Kindle picks, and I am picking 2 more romance books because I think that's just what I'm into right now, especially because I have the Brandon Sanderson books that's not, and I kind of need that balance there. So the first one I am picking, let me see if I can bring it up. Let's see. It's called Heartbreak Beach by Bailey Thomas. Hopefully you can see that. If not, I will put in a picture. It is a romance novella, and this is actually an arc. So this comes out in April. So I'm excited to read it before it's out. Sorry if you hear snoring. It's my puppy again. She's always snoring. So I'm excited to read this arc and review it and be able to get that out before the book actually releases. But it's a novella, so it should be a nice short one to get through. And I don't exactly remember what it's about. So you'll just have to wait for the review on that. Okay, then the next Kindle pick I have is one that I've been wanting to read for a while. It is the first in, I believe, a trilogy. At least as of right now, it's advertised as a trilogy. It is by Cleo Evans, and this is Broken Beginnings, and it's book 1 in Citrus Cove. And this one is supposed to be a spicier romance. And it's one that I've seen for a while. I followed the author for a while. I've never read anything from her. And I now own the first 2 books. I don't believe the third one comes out for a little while yet. I guess I should say I own them through Kindle. But this one I believe is a small town second chance, maybe cowboy romance. I don't remember that part exactly, but I do believe it's a small town second chance. And while I haven't read a lot of second chance romances, I'm kind of feeling like I want to. So I'm excited to jump into this one. Like I said, I have heard that it's a more spicier, smuttier leaning romance. So we'll see just how much of that there is. Okay, the last thing we have to talk about is the fact that for my challenge, I rolled an unhaul. And so I have a book here that I took a while to make this decision. I looked at reviews. It was one that I got through a library sale. And when I first got it, so it was in a library sale, and so everybody was rushed. It was like day one, and I was just skimming through. And when I saw it, the cover looked cool, and the little blurb about it seemed interesting, but I didn't really have time to look up the author, look up the reviews, or really dig into what this book was about to decide if I actually wanted it. And it was only $1 or $2. I think it was $2 because it was a hardback. So the book that I'm unhauling is Solar Flare by Larry Burkett. Now, I had not heard this name before. I had never heard of this book before. And it looked interesting. And it's supposedly about kind of like the end of times that comes about by a solar flare. And my assumption was that it's also about how society could survive it after all of our electronics go away. Okay, so it seems like a very interesting concept. So when I got home from that sale, I looked up the author and realized that not only is this not stuff he normally writes, at least not at that time, he is known apparently in the Christian financial realm as a financial advisor, and owns a Christian financing company. And so I was like, okay, that's different. And then I was reading a lot about this book. Okay, so first off, I am not against Christian authors at all. But the things that I was reading, the reviews I was reading about this book that even Christians were giving, were very much that it was either that they absolutely loved this book, or that this book was okay, but had a lot of religious ties, a lot of religious propaganda in it, and a lot of I believe the wording I was seeing most online was incomplete, like, religious thoughts, and like the way they represented the Amish community was also apparently not very well researched. And so just all of that, and where I am right now in my life and my faith journey, I just decided that, like, this isn't a book that I feel I'm going to want to pick up for a while. The story itself does sound very interesting, but I'd rather, for this type of story, personally stay away from the religious aspects, because in this case, religion doesn't really seem to play a piece to me in a solar flare apocalypse. And so I don't feel like I would pick this up for at least a year, if not more. And knowing the type of books that he writes are all financial ones, that was another thing. A lot of people were also commenting on that the writing was just not great. So ultimately, that's why I picked this to go ahead and unhaul. I will be donating this to that library sale so they can get more money from it, from somebody who is interested in this author. I'm not saying I won't ever read this, but knowing that it's a book that I currently have no interest in reading the religious side of, especially one that did not do, according to other people, of course, any research on a community that he's talking about, it just doesn't sit well with me. So I am unhauling this one. If you have read this one, or if you have read any of his other books and you love him, that is amazing. I am not here to tell you not to read anybody, because that's not my business. And that's like, whatever. You enjoy his work, let me know. Let me know if this was the biggest, worst decision to unhaul ever, and if I should rehaul it and eventually read it. Let me know. I will not be offended if you love it or if you don't agree with my reasonings for unhauling. That is okay. We are allowed to have different likes. So those are the books that I am hopefully gonna get to through March. Remember, if I do not get through at least 50% of those pulled books, then I will have to take a challenge prompt again at the beginning of next pulls. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you would like to see a review of the books that I did end up reading in February, let me know. I do at this point plan on making that video, but it's not a very high priority thing for me. So if you would like to see it, let me know and I will maybe move it up in the priority list. Thank you so much for watching. If you are into book content, I hope you will consider sticking around, subscribing, and we can get to know each other and help each other find good books to enjoy. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.